Hey everyone, welcome to AWS Tidbits on Simple and Detailed. Today we will see about AWS ALB pricing calculation. The pricing for the application load balancer has two components. One is for running the load balancer itself, and the other is the load balancer usage measured in load balancer capacity units (LCU). The usage of the application load balancer is determined by how much traffic it takes in and what is the amount of data that it processes and the number of rules that it gets evaluated. One thing to keep in mind is the difference between connection and a request. Once a connection is established between two endpoints, it can have one or more requests. Let's see a sample calculation. The first component is the cost of the LB itself, which is about $0.2520 per hour. Usually the load balancer runs for the entire month, which is 730 hours, so it amounts to $18.4. Next is the LCU calculation. There are four metrics that are considered for the LCU calculation. Of these four metrics, the one with the highest consumption is accounted for the LCU calculation. Let's say we have 100 new connections per second. One LCU is 25 new connections per second. So that translates to 4 LCUs. Next, the duration of each connection is, let's say, 90 seconds. There are 100 new connections in a second and they last for 90 seconds, which translates to 9,000 active connections in 1 minute. Per AWS, one LCU is 3000 units of active connections in 1 minute. So that converts to 3 LCUs consumed. Next is the data processed by the load balancer in 1 second. Let's say it's 10 KB and it includes both the request and response data sizes. Upon conversion, we have the value of 0.036 GBs per hour and the LCU consumed is the same value. Next, the calculation for rules evaluated. Let's say there are 4 requests per second per connection. That is 400 requests per second, as we have about 100 connections in a second. And let's say there are 15 rules evaluated for each request. We get about 10 free rules evaluations. So the effective number of rules is 5. So that gives us about 2000 rules evaluated per second. One LCU is 1000 rules evaluated per second. So in our case, we have about 2 LCUs consumed. Now we have the values for all 4 dimensions. The highest LCU is consumed by the new connections per second dimension. So that will be used for the CAS calculation, which gives us about $23.36 per month. The total comes to about $41.76. Subscribe for more such content.